mix of blocky apartment buildings and new houses. Then
2 blown tires on the other side of the trailer.
Awesome.
Is that what happened? Is it a blown tire or what? No. There was a tire bouncing in the road. And I swerved.
See the wheel, but the drum back there.
No, that's not it. It's on the other side.
Oh, really?
That I ran over, which is why I have 2 flat tires on the side of the trailer. Yeah, there was a tire bouncing in the fast lane, heading towards the slow lane, and I swerved enough to not hit it head on, and it pushed me into the ditch. Wow. Can I open your door for that in?
Dang it, Bobby. I'm gonna pull forward a little bit and just winch him straight out. And then once we get him up here, we'll figure out what to do about the trailer. The axles look messed up on the trailer too, from here. That front axle looks crooked. I could be wrong. Could just be the dirt.
That and that axle verse sitting right down the dirt. So.
Yeah. All right, you got it in neutral. All right. I got to get you out of the ditch before that culvert, so we're going to kind of push it kind of steep. Just point your truck like you're going to drive right into the back of mine, all right? Get up here where I can see everybody. You ready? Man, it's a miracle he didn't roll this thing over. You got lucky. What I am glad to see, these same campers you see a lot of times, people are pulling them with 3,500 and 4,500 Ford, Dodge, Chevy trucks. If they would have been in the same situation, this thing would have been on its side for sure, no doubt about it. But the fact that he has this Kenworth here, this T2000, that's what saved him.
3, 2, 1, action.
You know, we get a lot of looks and a lot of comments when we're on the road with our heavy-duty RV hauler.
A lot of thumbs up.
We do get a lot of thumbs up, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have the typical questions that show up when we come into a campground are,
You got a big enough truck?
or why do you have such a big truck?
Or isn't that a little overkill?
Oh yeah, that's another good one.
We've had that a few times.
Yeah, and our answers are always the same. We have a heavy-duty RV hauler for safety and comfort.
Absolutely. Comfort ride seats? Come on.
Yeah.
These roads these days are awful.
So this is a Class 8 truck that has been converted into a heavy-duty RV hauler, and over-the-road trucks are meant to go long hauls.
Yes.
And they're meant for single drivers or even team drivers, and just they go. They put, I don't know, they probably put a couple 100,000 miles a year on the trucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't put near that. We put 10 to maybe 18,000 a year on our truck.
Lately it has been less.
It has. It has. But the comfort in this thing is second to none. So if you've been following us for very long, you know we started with 1-ton dualies, and I always tell people we wore out 3 1-ton dualies.
And how? How do you say?
They just don't hold up to heavy hauling a big RV, putting a lot of miles on them, and I'm pretty OCD about my maintenance, and so I kept them up, but they just didn't seem to. I mean, we wore out brakes, we wore out disc rotors, we wore out front ball joints, we wore out a lot of stuff.
We did. Very frustrating.
Yeah.
Costly too.
So this Class 8 truck, and they're not all the same, but this is a Class 8 truck, Western Star 5700. It's got all the bells and whistles on it. I mean, it is set up very, very nice. It's got leather seats, it's got air seats, it's got an air ride cab, it's got cruise control, it's got air conditioning. It has a microwave in it. It has a refrigerator, a coffee maker. Yeah, if we're running down the road.
Yeah.
Kelly can make lunch. You can throw a couple burritos in the microwave while we're running down the road, and lunch is made.
That's right. It's nice. It's nice and cheap.
It is. It is. One of the biggest reasons that we have a heavy-duty RV hauler is for safety. Comfort is great. The comfort, I mean, it is. You can't get a more comfortable truck, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I agree. You can get up and walk around. And
There's so much
nice.
storage in there. She can get up and stretch her legs. If she wants to take a nap, she can go in the back bunk and lay down if she wants to, although you never have.
I never have, no.
But it's storage, and it's just very, very convenient. But the safety factor is the biggest thing. And what do you like to say?
It's not the go, it's the whoa.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had to slam your brakes on, you've got this massive RV behind you, and you're hoping that that stops too.
Yeah. So the big thing on the safety is this truck has got bigger brakes than any other one-ton dually on the market.
That's right.
It has great visibility. I mean, we sit up high and we've got great visibility. I can see down the road, I can anticipate things,
Yeah.
and that's a huge safety
Just
factor
like a
for me.
Class A, you
Yeah.
know, you have that big window. It's
Yeah.
so nice.
Yeah. But this truck also weighs more than our RV. Our RV, gross vehicle weight rating on our RV is 24,000 pounds. If you get a one-ton dually loaded to the gills, you're not gonna be even close to that weight. And so what happens a lot in accidents is you get into a situation where you have to swerve or you have to stop or whatever, and your RV weighs more than your truck, and even though you have trailer brakes, it's still a chore to stop that heavy trailer behind you. And so we really feel that this truck keeps us safer, and because of the weight. Now, speaking of accidents, our good friend Chad Heiser, he is the host and of the West Coast Rally for HDTs. He traveled to the East Coast HDT Rally in Tennessee, and he was headed back west. And as you saw at the opening, he's driving, not even a care in the world, listening to the radio, and he's running down the highway, and all of a sudden, out of the median, from the left-hand side, comes a tire and a wheel.
I mean,
just rolling across.
You just never know what's going to happen. I mean, that was crazy.
And so Chad went to avoid the tire, and he went hard right and ended up down in the ditch, and it's a little more complicated than that, and we're going to let Chad tell his story about what happened. So we're here with our good friend Chad Heiser, and as you saw at the front end of this video, Chad was the one driving the Kenworth during the fiasco that happened, and we've been good friends with Chad over the years. He is the coordinator for the West Coast HDT Rally, and we've been going to, I don't know, I think this is coming up, I think this is our 6th rally with you.
Something like that.
So we've been going a long time. We've known each other for a few years. Chad is an HDT owner, obviously, and your background is in law enforcement?
I retired in September from almost 27 years of law enforcement.
Okay.
And did a lot of different stuff, including running our traffic division for a while.
Okay.
So it gave me a lot of good experience dealing with stressful situations, dealing with traffic related issues, dealing with all kinds of different stuff.
And this was definitely a stressful situation.
Yeah, it's not something you expect to see driving down the highway or the interstate, and all of a sudden a tire comes out of nowhere from the trees or the bushes and coming right for you. First thing that crossed my mind is I didn't want it going through the radiator of the truck and destroying, pushing that into the motor, and I figured I could at least try to get it to the side of the truck and just let it hit the side of the truck, which is what my intention was. I've had a couple people ask me, I ended up swerving to the right to avoid it, and I had a couple people ask me why didn't I swerve to the left, because they thought I could have missed it completely and then had more road to deal with. And my answer to that is there could have been a car to my left because that was a lane of travel.
Sure.
There wasn't enough time to actually check mirrors, and you know, I'm almost 65 feet long with the truck and trailer, so there's a lot of room for another vehicle to be sitting there. So my first instinct was to go right because of that. I didn't want to take a chance of hitting another vehicle. And and I was hoping I had enough room on the side of the road to get around it, but once I swerved right, I just barely caught the edge of the road. Once I hit the edge of the road, then it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that I was going to go in the ditch, because there's no way to get back off the ditch.
Absolutely. So you've been RVing for how many years?
I've owned my own RVs for 20 plus years, and I've been RVing since I was a kid with my family.
Okay. And did you, obviously you didn't start with an HDT.
No, I started with a 3/4 ton Duramax. Then I graduated to a 1-ton dually Duramax. And then a little over 10 years, or just about 10 years ago, I bought the Kenworth.
Okay. So, 10 years you've been in the HDT?
Yes.
Okay. And what made you go that direction?
At the time, I had a Montana fifth wheel, which was relatively light. It was about 15,000 pounds. But I knew I wanted a bigger trailer eventually, and safety is a big issue for me. And even with that 15,000 pound trailer and the dually, the trailer would push the dually around sometimes. And I would lose trailer brakes every once in a while. That 7-pin is not the most reliable connection. And if that comes loose or whatever and you lose trailer brakes, and where I live, I have to climb hilly 2-lane roads to get to where to go anywhere pretty much. And when you lose brakes on roads like that with a pickup, it can be exciting. So I wanted something that I didn't have to worry about braking or other safety issues that I worried about with the dually.
So do you get comments like we do on the road? You got too big of a truck, or you think you got enough truck, sarcastically, or?
I get a lot of that, you know, why do you think you need such a big truck, or why do you have such a big truck? And my typical answer is, it's for the safety of it. You know, my current trailer weighs, well, my ex-trailer now weighs 21.5 when it's fully loaded. This truck weighs 17.5 as it sits. So there's only 4,000 pounds difference between the truck and trailer. You know, a dually's about 8,000 pounds. There's a big difference there. You know, almost 3 times the weight with the trailer. Had I been in the situation I was in with a pickup, I'm 100% sure I'd have been on my side. The trailer would have either pushed it over, or just a quick turn with the momentum of the trailer behind it, or once we went in the ditch and the trailer was rocking back and forth so far, one or the other would have put the trailer for sure over on the side, and most likely the truck over on the side too.
Well, and these guys have seen the dash cam footage of the tire rolling across and you in the ditch, and it doesn't do it justice.
No. No, it doesn't. You can't really see the angles as much. You can't see anything that I saw in my mirror. Once I got the truck and I knew the truck was going to be okay going in a straight line, I checked my mirror, and my driver's side mirror, and the trailer was leaned over as far as it can go, up against the bed of the truck. And all I could think was, don't go over, don't go over, don't go over. And it straightened itself back out. I kept the truck going straight and got the trailer pulled back behind the truck, and got everything in a nice straight line down in the V of the ditch.
Right.
But the trailer fishtailed a bit, and then it went up a pretty good side hill on the other side of the ditch before everything got stopped. And like I said, had I been in a pickup, it would have been on its side.
So, for the people, the naysayers out there that say, you don't need that big of a truck, you know, you're overkill.
You can never have enough truck. And the truck came out basically unscathed. I got a couple of cracks and some fiberglass that are easily repairable, and that's pretty much it. Even the trailer slamming down into the bed of the truck did no damage really to the bed. It scraped off some bed liner, and that's about it.
And you're fairly certain they're going to total your RV?
Waiting for the call, but I'm fairly certain, yes.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things here. Number one, the truck probably saved you from a catastrophe.
Yes.
You'd have been laying on your side. Number two, the RV itself, because it didn't roll over, it looks like it sheared the wall off of the frame in a couple of places and split a couple of places on the side, but it was still towable. I mean, you towed it here 600, 700 miles?
Yeah, it's leaning pretty good now. The sidewalls are leaning pretty good. That happened more so after I got here and put the slides out. Then the walls started leaning more, but it was towing a little bit of crooked. The suspension's obviously out of whack. I don't know if the frame's bent or not because you can't really see the frame on the DRVs without tearing stuff apart. But you stand in the RV at the back and you look forward and the whole middle section is leaning off to the driver's side. There's big cracks in the sidewalls, there's big cracks in the front cap, the whole rear cap is torn up. It's not good.
So it took some pretty stout force to jostle that thing around.
It was probably 30, 40 degrees in each direction.
Wow. Well, we're glad you're okay.
Yeah.
We're glad your truck is okay. The fifth wheel will get replaced, obviously, and you move on. But I just got to tell you guys, you know, for you naysayers out there that kid us a lot, and we get it a lot, that's overkill. You don't need that big of a truck. What do you have that big of a truck for? It's comfort, but probably the #1 reason is for safety.
Yeah. And they're right. Most of the time you don't need that big of a truck, but every once in a while, it's really nice to have.
Yeah. Well, as we saw, and we're glad you're here. All right, so that's Chad's story. Thanks, Chad. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So that's Chad's story, and as you can see, owning a heavy-duty RV hauler is probably the safest way to haul a heavy-duty or a heavy RV down the road.
Yeah.
If he hadn't been in his Kenworth, the wrecker service that came out to pull him out made the statement twice that had he been in a 1-ton dually, the whole thing would have been over on its side and in the ditch, and it would have been a catastrophe.
Right, and he could have been really hurt.
As it is, he was able to get pulled out of the ditch and drive and tow that trailer.
700 miles.
Yeah.
700 to here.
Yeah. He hasn't had the insurance adjuster look at it, but he's pretty sure it's the trailer itself is totaled from the jostling back and forth.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's safe. He's here today to talk about why he drives with an HDT hauler.
Yeah.
And so those of you out there that say, think you got a big enough truck?
This is why.
That's right. So anyway, we wanted just to share Chad's experience with you and kind of tell you why we haul with such a big rig. Safety is the biggest factor as well as comfort. And anyway, if you have any questions, shoot us an email, leave a comment below. And we want to thank you for coming along again this week. Welcome to our new subscribers.
Yes.
And from Elk City, Oklahoma.
It all starts with an idea.
Take care, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.